Alright, so real quick before I get into the video, I want to give a quick shout out to A Million Card Tricks. Make sure to click on the link, check out his channel. He emailed me separately asking me to check out his channel and just look at it, and I really liked it, so I figured I would give him a shout out here. So make sure you guys click on the link, and here is the video. So as I was going through his channel, I saw this card trick that I liked especially, so if you guys like this one, then make sure to click on the link because there's going to be a lot more like this one. So let's say we take the two red kings and we set those off to the side. The spectator can go ahead and pick any card they want from a shuffle deck. Let's say this card here, and all I'm going to do is stick this into the middle of the deck. As you see, it was a 9 of clubs. We'll stick it in the middle. Let's say we get it lost, and then I will shuffle the deck up. So I want to show you that in between the kings there's nothing here. So you can see there's nothing in between the two red kings. And let's say I spread out the deck. This way you guys can pick any card that you want. Now let's say you pick, and you have to make sure it's an invisible card. So let's say you pick one from out here. All you have to do is throw it in between these two cards. So let's say on 3, 2, 1, you throw it. You can see in between the two kings I've caught one card. This is going to be your selection. So this is trick, guys. If you want to learn how to do it, don't forget to stick around for the tutorial. Alright, so here's how you guys start off with the trick. So basically you're just going to be taking, let's say, kings or queens or anything like that, and you just kind of set that off to the side. Make sure they're just soulmates. This way they kind of contrast with whatever card the spectator is going to pick. And the spectator can really pick any card they want, and I would suggest that you have the card signed because it would definitely make the trick a little bit better at the end. So let's say the spectator would assign this card, and all you're doing is you're just making it look like you're losing it in the deck, but in reality I'm going to take the card and just kind of bend it, push it in with my thumb, catch a thumb break, and then double undercut it to the top. So I take my pinky, take half the cards from below the break, and then the rest of the cards from the break, move it to the top, and now their card is on top of the deck. Then you could do like a riffle shuffle, leaving their card on top, and then with their card being on top, all you have to do is say, look, there's nothing in between the kings, and as I say that, I'm just pushing off the top card with my thumb, pulling it back, catching a break, and saying, look, there's nothing in between these two kings, and you just leave the first king on top of the break, and then you take the second king and do the exact same thing, and you pick the cards up from the break like this in middle grip with your thumb at the bottom and your middle at the top, and you just kind of thumb over the first king, putting it underneath the top king like this. So now what you have is a sandwich with the card underneath the top king. So now at the end of the trick, all you have to do is have the cards spread out, and you can just have the spectator pick an invisible card. And what you're doing is, as they're throwing that invisible card, you're just kind of tilting the deck back a little bit, and when you come back, you're going to have the cards opened up and spread open. So this way the cards have that face down card sandwiched in between them. So basically you have the spectator just throw the card 1, 2, and on 3 you come back down with the card in the middle, in between the two kings. So this is a trick, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to A Million Card Tricks. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Alright, guys, so I'm just going to go ahead and tell you now, I haven't posted a video for the past 10 days or so, just considering I have been on vacation, but I am back now, and I figured for getting to 100,000 subscribers, I figured what I'll do is just make a video on my favorite card trick of all time. This is something I haven't really gone over, and anyways, guys, here's what it's going to look like. So to start off, I'm not going to be performing it. I'm just going to be kind of giving you the lowdown of what it's going to look like during the performance, but I will be showing you how to do it. So basically the trick will start off, you'll have the spectator shuffle the deck, and then you'll have the spectator put their card in the middle of the deck. You'll show them their card, okay, you'll put it back, and you're going to have the spectator mix up a packet of cards. They mix up the pack, and you give them the rest of the deck to mix up. So their card is supposed to be lost in the middle of the deck somewhere. And what you do is you take your hand in the spectator's hands and you put them underneath the table. So you have one hand under the table, and you take the spectator's hand and you put that on top of your hand. And now what you're going to do is underneath the table, which is going to be underneath, it should be directly underneath the deck, you have both hands, and the spectator will be pushing down on the deck with their other hand. And once they push down hard enough, the spectator will feel a card drop onto their hands, and it's going to be their selection. So that is basically how the trick is going to work. And so to do it, this is what you're going to have to do. So the reason I said this is my favorite one is because it doesn't require any gimmicks, so you can use any deck of cards. So to start off, you can have the spectator shuffle up the deck, and if you can't have the deck signed, I would recommend having them pick the card face up, so this way the spectator doesn't feel as though you forced any cards. So let's say the spectator goes through, they pick a random card, in this case they have the Jack. Alright, so if they picked it themselves, you don't really need to have them sign it unless you want them to sign it. But in this case, they have the Jack. Now, what you're going to do is while they're holding the Jack, you tell them make sure this is an authentic card or something like that, just as something to misdirect them. You're going to take one card on the bottom of the deck with your pinky and pull it down just like this. And all you're going to do is take that card, transfer it to a thumb break, and swing cut the cards. And you can tell the spectator, go ahead and put the card back into the middle of the deck here. So swing cut the cards, you have them place the card in the middle, and you put it, and you have them put it flush with the deck. This way you can have a reason to push the card forward with your other hand like this. And what you're doing is you're going to be dropping this random card as you're pushing the deck forward. You say, look, your card's in the middle. You turn the deck toward the spectator, and all I did was just drop that top card onto the deck. So the spectator sees their card, they think it's still the top card, and you can just push it in with the rest of the deck, come back, square it up. So the spectator now thinks this is their card, but in reality this is just some random card. So you have them, or you just go ahead and you say, look, I'll push this card in the middle, go ahead and mix this pack up. So the spectator thinks they're mixing up the deck over here. Now what you do with your left hand is, now you need to be sitting down for this trick usually to work. You can be standing up, you might have to do some more sleight of hand, but if you're sitting down, all you have to do is place the deck, take it and put it kind of under the table, and just kind of thumb that top card off into your lap. So you're sitting down now, this card is going to be in your lap, and as soon as the spectator is done shuffling these, you can have them shuffle the rest of the pack and say, look, go ahead and lose the deck in here. So you can dribble, mix up the deck, have them mix up the cards as much as they want. So now at this point in the trick, the deck is going to be shuffled and this card is still going to be in your lap. So in order to get it into the spectator's hands, what you're going to do is, let's pretend this is the entire table. So my hand is going to be, this is the top of the table. Underneath, you're going to take one hand and you're going to hold the card against the top of the table just like this. So now pretend the bottom of my hand is the bottom of the table, and underneath you're going to be holding the card just with your thumb. In this way, your hand is completely open, just like this, and you're going to have the spectator place their hand right on top of your hand. So this way, you can have the card against the table. The spectator is not going to be able to feel anything in your right hand, and all you have to do is, now let's pretend this is underneath the table. The spectator's hand is going to be directly on top of yours, and let's assume that this card is still on top of my thumb, being pressured against the table just like this. All you have to do is just remove your thumb and let the card drop into the spectator's hand. So you're going to be holding the deck like this, and you tell your spectator, with the other hand, I want you to press down on this deck, and you have them press down for 3 seconds or so, and all you do is you just move your thumb away, so this way the card drops onto their hands. And this is actually one of my favorite tricks, like I said, because you don't need any special gimmicks. The card literally is getting transported through the deck, so it seems to the spectator. So this is just an all-around great trick that you can perform anywhere, as long as you have a table. And anyways, guys, this is the video. Hope you guys like it, and as always, thanks for watching. Alright, so before I get into the trick, I want to give a quick shout out to Card Shuffler 99. Make sure to click on the link and check them out. You guys will not be disappointed in their videos. Anyways, guys, here's the actual video. Alright, so to start off the trick, the spectator can shuffle up the deck, and they can even pick their own cards. So let's say they pick one from the middle. And now in this case, I don't really want to look at it, so let's go ahead. I'll show you guys your card, so make sure you guys can remember it. And let's say we get it lost into the middle of the deck. As you guys can see, I have no breaks. I'll cut up the deck a little bit, get the cards mixed up, and then from here, let's say I'm going to go through them, and I'm going to go ahead and look through the deck looking for your card. So in this case, let's say I take your card, which should be the Queen of Spades. I'm going to make it invisible, and I'm going to let you hold on to it. Now, I want you to pick a number, let's say 1 through 52, and let's say you wanted to pick a number like 13. So we'll count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now in the 13th position, this should not be your card, because obviously your card is still invisible. So go ahead and place your invisible card back on here, and let's go ahead and redo the count. So now your card should be, if I snap my fingers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. In the 13th position, we should have your card, the Queen of Spades. So this is a trick, guys, and if you want to do it, don't forget to stick around for the tutorial. Alright, so the good thing about this trick is that you can use any deck of cards, and it can be borrowed, and you can have the spectator mix it up as well. So to start it off, let's say the spectator could go through and they could really pick any card that they want to. And now what you're doing as they pick that card is you're just looking at the bottom card, in this case the King of Hearts, and you're getting yourself a key card. So go ahead, remember the bottom card, and the spectator looks at theirs. In this case, they have the 8 of Spades. So you don't know what their card is yet, but what you do is you tell them you're going to mix it up. So you leave their 8, or whatever their card is, on top, and say, let's go ahead and lose it in the middle. So you cut the deck, leaving their key card directly above their card, and you can say, go ahead and mix up the deck a little bit, cut it up, and you only let them cut the deck in half. This way the card won't get separated with the key card. So then you take the deck yourself, you look at it, the spectator's not going to be seeing it, and you're going through looking for that key card, the King of Hearts. So you go through, you find the king. Now what you want to do here is cut the deck so that your key card ends up at the bottom. So you cut the deck, your key card goes to the bottom. You know their card is the 8 of Spades. You flip the deck back over, and now you kind of put it down. The spectator has not seen anything. So at this point, their card is going to be on top, and you say, you know what? Let's go ahead, let's make your card, the 8 of Spades, invisible. And at this point, the spectator is going to be kind of amazed because you already do know their card, and you say it's going to be invisible, and you say, go and hold on to it for me. And then at this point, you say, I want you to pick a number 1 through 52. Now, as you say that, you say, look, I want you to pick a number 1 through 52. You kind of just misdirect the spectators, counting off 3 cards just like this. So their card's going to be on top. You count off 3 cards, put it back into a pinky break, and at this point the spectator should have picked a number, and if you want to, you can tell them to pick one that is 1 through 26, just so you don't have to count out so many cards, or you can give them an option like 5 through 26, because you don't really want them picking any number like 2 or 3 or 1. So let's say they were to pick 7. So what you do is you actually deal off the top card. So you have a 3-card break, you actually deal off the top card. This is a single card, and this is theirs. You place that to the bottom, you say that's 1 card, and then you go to the break, grabbing 2 cards, and you say 2. So you count this 2-card packet as 1, so you say 1, 2, and you just drop it on top, so this way the cards don't really separate. You have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you stop to 1 number below the card, or the number they pick. So in this case they pick 7, so you say, look, now this is the 7th card, or this is the card in the 7th position, and as you can see, it's not yours because obviously yours is invisible. So go ahead, place your invisible card on the deck. They can place their invisible card back in here. You pick up the cards from the table, put it back on top, and you say, okay, let's try this again. So then from here you can really count 7 cards, or you can have the spectators do it, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and in the 7th position it should be their card. So this is a trick, guys. I hope you guys like it. And as always, thanks for watching.